Hi everybody, Rebecca Keppel here with Waffle Flower Crafts. I'm super excited to be sharing a water media matte technique that is my favorite, which is ink blending and then using up the remnants of your ink for another panel. So I'm going to be using some Distress Oxide inks and some ink blending tools. I like how the paper stays put on my mat because it is that silicone, and I also like how my mat stays placed on my desktop because of the nice non-stick surface on the back there. It just sort of sticks right to your desk. So I'm going to really blend, and I'm going to come from off the edge of the paper. You can see there that I have a lot on the mat because that gives me the smoothest blend between colors, and also it doesn't give you a harsh line on the edge of your card. So definitely come in from the outer edge there. That gives you all those remnants. Spritz those with a little bit of water and use some watercolor cardstock, and you can get another really pretty panel that is totally different from the first ink blend that we did. And that's what I like, getting a completely different look and also not wasting any of that ink on the water media mat. This time I'm going to use traditional distress inks. I'm going to use the cubes, and I'm going to use a blending foam from Sukaneko. And I'm going to use the same foam for all three colors there. And you can see again that I'm coming from way off the side of the card onto it in order to get that nice smooth blend and to avoid those harsh lines as well. So I love the look of that one. I am going to add a little bit of extra ink to my mat, and I'm going to spritz this one with a shimmer spray just to get a completely, again, a different look. This time I am just trying to pick everything up there. I did use a lot of the shimmer spray. Usually I use a small amount of water and pick it all up, but this time there was a lot, and so I'm just cleaning it all up with a baby wipe. I wanted a bolder look, so I am using some Distress Oxide spray here. I sprayed a little on the card itself. That gives you that really deep color. But then I also sprayed some on the mat, where I also have some of that shimmer spray to mix with it. And of course, you can use your heat tool right on your mat. So just flip it over and heat set it to dry it. The last card panel that I'm going to create is again with Distress Oxide inks, but this time I'm using a really soft makeup brush to do my ink blending. Just going to use two colors this time to create a really soft sky and then a pretty grassy background as well. And once again, I felt like there just wasn't enough ink on here for me, so I did just wipe the pad right on the mat and then spritz it with a little bit of water. I like to start with less water because you can always add more. And I kind of like the tie-dye watercolor effect where you have little splots of white as well. The whole card is not necessarily covered with pigment. Okay, now let's turn these panels into cards. I have the Bouquet Builder 3 that I colored with Copic markers on the right-hand side. I'm going to pop that up with some foam adhesive and add the happy birthday sentiment on the stems. For the left blended one, I decided to heat emboss with silver embossing powder on black cardstock to give a totally different look. And I just love how these two panels have such a different outcome. For the orange and pink and yellow panels, I die cut them with the tile panel die. Again, just love how different they look. One ink blended and one just picking up the remnants with some water spritzed on it. I'm going to adhere both of these down to a top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white note card so that you can see the white peeking through those die cut panels, and you have that really bold colors for the ink blended panel and then the softer colors for the watercolor panel. And I just stamped a couple of different sentiments in those, and then I'm going to finish them up with some enamel dots. Okay, for the last couple of cards, I'm going to use the ticket frames dies to create some frames, and I'm going to pop them up with some foam adhesive. So on the left hand side we have that ink blended panel, on the right we have that kind of watercolor or tie-dye panel that was created by picking up the remnants of the ink blending on the mat. I also stamped and die cut some flowers and the sentiment from the XOXO stamp set. And I just, again, love the look that is so different between these two panels just by using the same inks but with two different techniques, and the water media mat makes both of them so easy. Between ink blending and then spritzing and watercoloring, and all of those techniques are just so simple on the water media mat, and I love how you can get both these looks and use up all your ink and not waste anything here. So I'm just going to adhere and pop up all those flowers and sentiments in these two panels, and those cards are done as well. So I hope that you will try both of these techniques with the water media mat. If you are interested in the supplies I use, they will be linked down below. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check us out on Facebook and Instagram for more creative ideas.